Hello, internets, and welcome to another Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Wi-Fi battle. You can call me 12-pack, and the battle I have for you today is a very special one against my good friend Charlie, or as he goes by in his in-game name, Charles. Now, definitely a bit of history behind this battle. Charlie and I have been good friends for going on 14 years now, maybe even 15, and we've both played Pokemon off and on during that time period since way back when on Game Boy Color with Crystal version. But he's only recently started to get into the X and Y metagame as of late, and this is actually the second team he's built. It took him a good month to breed out all of his pokes just the way he wanted and assemble this team here, and I must say I was actually pretty impressed with it. So, this is actually the fourth game we had together with him using this new team. The first game I won, largely in part to some freeze hacks that were in my favor. The second game, he won, and the third game I got pissed off because I lost, so I brought a rain team, and I kind of stomped him, which was sort of a douchey move. And then this game, I kind of, at this point, sort of knew most of the sets that he was running and possibly guessed on some of the spreads. But I didn't want to make things unfair, so I just threw together a random squad of miscellaneous Pokemon here, and this game actually turned out to be the best out of the bunch. So without further ado here, let's hop into team preview. My team. I am using the standard Smogon Hustle Durant set with Hone Claws. This thing is actually really good. I'm not sure why it's not used more. I was quite impressed with it. Next up we got my Licky Licky. This is a specially defensive Licky Licky with Wish, actually. This is the Wish Lickitung. Not legal in any sort of tournament format on X and Y, but perfectly legal in just a public match. And next up we got my Floatzel. This is a Choice Band Floatzel with Switcheroo in order to cripple some opposing walls from time to time that he may not be able to break through with his other three attacks. So he's actually quite instrumental in the result of this battle, so look forward to that. Next up we have my Physical Hypno. Now, you're probably thinking, what? Physical Hypno? If you've ever even seen a Hypno in a Wi-Fi battle, because let's be real here, he's not exactly top tier or extremely popular, but no. Hypno actually gets a surprising amount of physical coverage moves. He gets all the elemental punches, and Drain Punch to give himself some sustain. So I made up this set with max HP, max defense, and Assault Vest with Power Up Punch, Zen Headbutt, Drain Punch, and Ice Punch, and he actually is pretty decent, if being rather slow. He can eat up quite a few hits on the exchange. So next up we got my hazard setting Druddigon here, utility Druddigon I guess, with Glare, Sucker Punch, Rocks, and Dragon Tail. And yes, I am doing the Greasy, Rocky Helmet, and Rough Skin combination with max defense and max HP because it's the most effective way to use him, in my opinion. And then finally, to round off the team here, we have my Evolite Misdreavus, which is pretty decent at its job. Basically, just have it here as some standard ghost support with Will-O-Wisp, Foul Play, Pain Split, and I think Taunt is the last move I have on it. It's actually pretty speedy as well compared to some of the bulkier ghosts like Spiritomb and Sableye, so that's a plus. So my opponent's team here, Charlie is using a Sandstorm team, which immediately became apparent the first game we had together. So, despite having a rather large weakness to water, his team is actually pretty well rounded. So I'll go over it quickly and tell you what I expected he was running on each poke at the time of this battle, as I know for a certainty now, but I didn't know then. So his Fortress, I believe he showed me that he had Spikes, Gyro Ball, Rapid Spin, and Volt Switch, so I knew all four of his moves, but not his spread 100%. The Glysaur is the standard Poison Heal stalling substitute one. The Aerodactyl is a Mega with 3 attacks, or I think he has all attacks actually, no boosting moves or roost or any of that nonsense, just straight up gung-ho, balls to the walls Aerodactyl. And next up we got a Gigalith, which I was strongly suspecting going into this match was Assault Vest, as it ate up a Giga Drain in a previous game way too well than any Gigalith has any right to. but that's pretty much all I knew about it. And then next up we got his Magnezone, which is this sort of a tanky set. It was rather slow and had a few special attacks on there that Magnezone normally carries. And then finally we've got the anchor of his team here, and the main focal point for this team to work, and that is his Smooth Rock Tyranitar to set up that 8-turn Sandstorm. And I believe this is also his Rock setter. So I've talked for 5 minutes already, but without further ado, let's get into this game. And Charlie is issuing a challenge. Let's go. He's going to lead off with the T-Tar here. And I actually led with my Durant. Now, Durant is actually a pretty good matchup against T-Tar. I sort of suspected he was going to lead with him since he is integral to the success of my opponent's team. So this turn, I expected him to go for the Rock, so I went right ahead and set up the Hone Claws, but he actually turns out to be carrying Fire Punch, which would have completely wasted me had I not been running Focus Sash. Durant actually has decent defense, but he's not going to take a 4 times super effective attack with his rather minuscule amount of HP. So my opponent wisely switches out there, not wanting to risk T-Tar getting OKO'd, goes into Fortress, who eats up the Iron Head like no problem, and recovers a little HP with that leftovers there. This turn I'm going to mix up my attack here, go for the Superpower. I don't really want to lose 1 stage of attack and defense, but since I have 1 HP I figured I'll just YOLO it and do as much damage as I can, since his hazards are up now, the spikes are up, so if I switch out I'm not going to be able to come back in safely. And I do not actually have a spinner on this team, so Durant basically has to stay in here for the long haul. And manages to finish off Fortress, I think? Yes, he does. But I'm at -2 attack and defense, so I'm... well, let's be real, I wouldn't live anything on 1 HP anyway, so the defense drops don't really matter, but on the flip side, I'm not going to do hardly anything to this Glysaur, who fires back with the Earthquake here and finishes me off rather easily. So now, and he gets poisoned by the Toxic Orb, so he's going to start getting back a little health every turn. I'm going to bring in my Floatzel here, who's actually carrying Ice Punch. But I'm going to go straight for the Switcheroo, actually, expecting him maybe to want to switch out, and give him a Choice Band and obtain a Toxic Orb, which was not really exactly what I wanted to do. However, this turn he actually goes for Toxic anyway, so I wind up getting poisoned regardless of what I kind of wanted to do there. So now he does have the Choice Band, so he's not going to be able to do any substitute shenanigans, and is going to withdraw, sending out his Magnezone. And unfortunately I won't be able to switch the Toxic Orb to Magnezone again because he won't get poisoned by it, obviously being a Steel type. So that turn I had gone for an Ice Punch in case he did want to stay in, and Magnezone eats it up quite handily. So this turn I'm going to withdraw, realizing I can't really touch Magnezone with anything else I'm carrying, and go out into my especially defensive Licky Licky here to eat up a few hits, maybe scout out a couple more moves, as I wasn't entirely sure everything he was running at the time. So he gets the Paralyze with the Thunderbolt, which really sucks because I probably would have outsped him had that not happened. Although the Sandstorm does subside this turn, so I'm no longer going to be taking that chip damage with the majority of my team each turn. So he's going to go straight for the Volt Switch this turn, probably a wise call on his part, as he will be able to get a little bit of switch initiative on my Licky Licky, possibly KOing it in the bargain. And he's going to send out the T-Tar here. Now, that's not a good matchup for my Licky Licky, obviously, as I am specially defensive and T-Tar is physical, and I don't have a whole lot of HP left. But that turn I was fortunate enough not to get paralyzed, was able to get off the Wish, and I think I pass it off to somebody here with a switch. Yes, I do switch out, and I go into my... it's going to be my Druddigon. So Druddigon's going to come in here. If I take an attack, T-Tar will take recoil damage from my helmet and Rough Skin. However, he does actually go for the Earthquake, which does not make contact, so he will not take any recoil damage in exchange. However, I get a free switch thanks to that Wish coming true, bringing me back up to full health, and he's going to withdraw with T-Tar, sending in his Glysaur once again here. which unfortunately I can't really touch, although this does give me the free turn to set up my stealth rocks. So I'm going to take a bit of damage here from the sandstorm once again, and he's going to get a bit of health back with that poison heal. So this turn, I'm going to switch out, not wanting him to set up substitutes, and I can't really touch him as I said. So I was sort of expecting he was either going to substitute or toxic, so going back into Licky Licky here was my smartest play, as he does actually go for the toxic, which does not affect me due to me already being paralyzed. So I'll get back a little bit of health here, bringing me, well, I'm not going to live anything at this low of HP, let's be honest. However, he is going to withdraw. I guess he didn't really know what Licky Licky was carrying. Charlie was at a bit of a disadvantage each game here, since I did bring a completely different team every single time. Which, yeah, I admit is a little bit unfair, but let's be honest, I didn't bring anything too overpowered except in the third game where I kind of cheated a bit and brought a rain team. But anyway, Gigalith comes out here, and I'm going to want to switch out after going for the wish yet again here. Sending in my Misdreavus, hopefully to get a burn off on this thing, assuming I don't get like wasted instantly. And he goes for the Rock Blast, which is actually going to do a pretty decent sum to me here. See, actually, I believe he lands it 5 times on the first attempt, which is kind of crappy, let's be honest here. However, the wish is going to come true and bring me back up to mostly full HP, and I'm obviously going to outspeed this turn, go for the Will-O-Wisp, and hopefully that'll be enough to cripple that Gigalith from doing any serious damage to the remainder of my team. As this turn he goes for the Rock Slide. For some reason he is actually carrying 2 rock-type attacks. I mentioned later to him that he should probably change that, and I think that he did. So this turn I'll go for the Foul Play, and this is something I've never learned about Pokemon. If you burn something first and then go for Foul Play, does it calculate off your opponent's attack that is halved by the burn, or by its attack at full power? I've never known that. But anyway, Misdreavus is successfully kind of walling out this Gigalith here and doing a hefty sum with those Foul Plays. And this turn he's going to go down from the burn damage, so Misdreavus did its job rather nicely, taking down Gigalith in the exchange. Unfortunately now, I am almost dead, or what am I at, like a third health here? And T-Tar is going to come back in and set up Sandstorm for, I think, the 3rd time. So this turn I'm just going to go for the Foul Play. That did next to nothing. I think actually there I had misclicked. I wanted to go for Will-O-Wisp. However, I failed pretty hard and went for the Foul Play. And he's going to fire back with the Crunch, and due to him not being burned, that is going to do enough damage to take me out. So that was definitely a misplay on my part. However, now I'm free to bring in my, what do you call it here, Floatzel, who's actually carrying Low Kick. I wanted to use that on that T-Tar to finish him off, as I wasn't confident an Aqua Jet would kill him since I'm no longer carrying Choice Band. So this turn I did go for the Low Kick, and it hits the Magnezone on the switch-in, doing a hefty sum, almost taking him out. However, I'm rapidly being worn down here by the Sandstorm in combination of the toxic damage. But this turn I'm able to finish off Magnezone with the Aqua Jet, which was probably unnecessary, because I would have outsped him anyway, but why not? Go for the Aqua Jet anyway. So now Aerodactyl comes in here, and this is where I kind of screwed up again here. I really should have gone for a Aqua Jet again, but thinking that I had a chance to outspeed and that he might go back out into T-Tar in order to have me wear myself down in the sand and with toxic damage, I actually did go for Low Kick that turn, and it wound up costing me my Floatzel when I could have had another turn to do damage with him before he went down. So that was somewhat unfortunate. However, I feel like I'm saying however whenever something different happens here, but anyway, Dredagon comes in. I'm able to get off the glare after taking a Stone Edge, and Aerodactyl is now paralyzed at half speed. So hopefully that means this turn I can actually phase him out with Dragon Tail, but that was kind of hilarious. Aerodactyl's still actually faster than Dredagon, even at half speed, so I don't think I've ever seen that happen before with any poke. And I do miss my Dragon Tail, and he knocks me out with the Stone Edge. So now I've got to kind of lean on my Hypno here and hopefully bring things back with him. I'm going to go straight for the Ice Punch here. Hypno's actually faster than Aerodactyl when he's paralyzed, so that's something of a bonus. And this turn I pay him back for missing that Dragon Tail as he whiffs on the Stone Edge. So this turn I go for another Ice Punch. Aerodactyl gets KO'd. I lost a minimal amount of HP in the exchange, so that worked out not too bad. Hypno might be getting ready to make a bit of a comeback here to keep me in this game, as D-Tar comes in, sets up the Sandstorm for the 4th time in one game. That's been the entire duration of the game in Sandstorm. So this turn I'm just going to go straight for the Drain Punch, get that 4 times super effective hit, and well, Tyranitar actually ate that extremely well, considering it was a critical hit on top of being 4 times super effective. So as you can see, Hypno with no attack investment really relies on that power-up punch to do some serious damage. And this turn, I'm actually going to be free to go for that to finish off T-Tar at his rather minimal amount of HP. Get myself up to +1 and hopefully set me up enough that I can take on this Glysaur and finish it off with an Ice Punch. So here it is, the moment of truth. Glysaur comes out, and am I going to be able to outspeed? As you probably guessed, no, because Glysaur is actually pretty speedy. And I confirmed with Charlie afterwards that he actually does have some speed investment on the Glysaur. But the thing about that is, he might not actually have KO'd me with Earthquake, considering he had no attack investment. So I think the fact that I tricked him the Choice Band earlier actually kind of signed my own death warrant, because he was able to do enough to my physically defensive Hypno to finish him off at the remainder of HP he had before I could fire back with an Ice Punch and likely KO him in the exchange. So anyway, good game, Charlie. That was definitely the best out of the 4 we had, and I'm sure there will be more to come. There are a couple things that we discussed you tweak on your team, and I think it'll be extremely dangerous with a few alterations here and there. As for my own team, I suggest you try out Physical Hypno for any of you interested. It's actually surprisingly decent. Benefits more from Sticky Web support, though, I will say. Had I had that this game, actually it would not have made a difference, because Glysaur flies, so he wouldn't have been damaged by or hindered by the Sticky Web whatsoever. So either way, that game I just kind of screwed myself giving Glysaur the Choice Band, and wound up costing me, but it was certainly an interesting match and I enjoyed it a great deal. So I hope the rest of you watching enjoyed it as well, and with that, I will see you next time. Bye for now.